then one day, God decided to create something in this world. Then the first day, He created animals and birds. And then the second day, He created the water, oceans, and the lovely different colored fishes, and the birds in the sky to create the sky. Then the third day, He created the soil and the wonderful plants in the garden, and He created the animals who liked to play. And the fourth day, He decided to create lots of tall trees and lots of wonderful plants that make the air fresh, and lots of tasty fruits in the tree. And then when the fifth day came, He wanted to make the humans. So it wasn't finished yet. That God said, it is so quiet in this world. So He decided to create humans, so that first He created Adam. Adam enjoyed the wonderful world. He smelled the fresh air, ate the fruits that God told him. But there was one rule in the garden that Adam should always obey. It was God said they could eat any fruit they want, like the bananas in the trees and the berries, but not the fruit in the middle of the tree. And Adam promised. So one day when Adam was asleep, God thought that Adam was lonely. He thought he needed a partner. So God created a woman, and He took a rib from his bone and created the woman. And then when Adam woke up, he was shocked to see the woman. And then he enjoyed playing with the woman, and they took care of the animals, and they picked the fruits from the fresh tall trees, and they were starting to plant saplings and everything that they wanted to plant. And when Adam was picking some flowers, he saw a serpent in the tree. And then the serpent said, "Eve, look at this tasty fruit. God knows if you eat it, you'll know everything." But Eve replied, "No, Adam said if God tells us to eat the apple, we'll die." But the serpent just lied. He said that she will be intelligent like God and know what is good and evil. So Eve ate the fruit and gave some to Adam, and they were so naked they got leaves and stick them together to make clothes. And after that, God told them to leave the garden with angels with flaming swords. And then And then when they went to a far place, our next story is Cain and Abel. No. Stop it. Once upon a time, there was Cain and his brother Abel. One day, Cain and Abel's father, Cain and Abel's father told them to give an offering to God. So Abel gave his best. Abel gave his best lamb to God, while Cain offered just a little few fruits and a little vegetables. And when they were gonna give their offering to God, God chose Abel's offering, and then Cain was jealous, so he woke up Abel, and then he told him to look at the fields. So when Abel was looking for Cain, Cain threw a big rock to Abel, and God told him where was Abel, and he replied, "I don't know." And God knew it, so he told him to walk to a long way until he survives for a day. Okay. The next story is Noah. One day, God told him at night that the people in the earth were so wicked. And he told Noah to build a huge ark, one big as anything. So Noah started building the ark. Day by day, he did not stop. His family started to help too. There were first stop for the animals, for the giraffes, bunnies, and cats, and monkeys, and after that they made a huge box so that they could store their food and bread and their wheat, and they put the grains inside small little boxes to last for a little few days. So it took on for 40 days and 40 nights until the rain stopped. They first sent out a bird. The bird did not return for anything. Next, they sent out a dove for the second time, and it did not get out anything. But in the third time for the dove, it returned for a leaf. And then when it was time to get off the boat, they built an altar, and then God sent out a rainbow for keeping them safe. The end. This is the end of our next story, and now it's my little sister's turn.
Say hi. Okay. You find another one. She said she'll be next. David? Sam?
Once upon a time, there lived David, who was a young boy. So one day, the army called out for his brothers, and little David wanted to go too. But his father did not allow him because he knew he was too little. But he told a little story that one day there was a lion, and then his sheep was in trouble. and then he was pulling the jaws and punching the lion. But his brothers and his father laughed at him and said it wasn't true. So his brothers went on for the journey to go to the war. So when they reached the war, they saw the enemy was so little, but they had a giant leader named Goliath. Goliath was a big giant, 10 feet tall, and no one could defeat him, but David could. So one day, David's father told him to give all these a little few grains and nuts to his brother. And when he reached there, he saw they were fighting the war. So when they were on their little cozy tent, he gave the grain, and after the second day had passed, it was David's turn. So King Saul watched as David took off his hat and collected one stone from his pocket and his slingshot in his right hand. And after that, he swirled and swirled his slingshot, and the stone was flying in the air like a bird, and until it reaches Goliath's head. And then Goliath swirled and swirled, and he felt dizzy. And then he fell on the ground with a big bang. And King Saul would let David be king someday. The end.
Zacchaeus? Okay. Still at it? Okay, bibigay.
Once upon a time, there lived Zacchaeus. And one day, Zacchaeus saw the people running, and they said to him, Jesus is here, and the people go without him, and he just runs, and he just cannot see the crowd. So he saw a tree behind him, and now he can see Jesus. And Jesus said, "Get down." And Jesus said he will go to Zacchaeus' house for dinner. And that's the story.
About the money.
And Zacchaeus gave all the money to the people that he stole from. What's next?
Poor people.
Poor people. And kiss them. Don't laugh. And kiss them. What?
Okay, Ate Mika. Colorful coat?
Nana, you said only 3 stories. Only that's the last one, okay?
Okay.
If it's another, I'll not do it. No, I said 1 story.
Joseph, ano?
I don't want. I want. What's the one in the lion's den?
Samuel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the king, the one who was thrown.
Samuel.
It is. Once upon a time there lived an old man named Samuel. He always prayed to God 3 times a day and never stopped what he was doing. One day he was gonna go to King. Who's that? Nebuchadnezzar, and he loved Daniel more than the others. So one day they were so jealous of Daniel and did not find anything wrong with him. So they wanted to teach Daniel a lesson. First, they went up a ladder and got off his window and peeped through the door as he was praying. So they told to the king that Daniel was disobeying the law and they judged the king to throw Daniel to the deep lion's den. So when Daniel was gonna be thrown into the lion's den, he was in there, but God sent an angel to close all the lion's mouth. And the second day, King Nebuchadnezzar opened the lion's den with a huge stone and said, Daniel, was your God able to save you away from those lions? And he said, long live the king. I am all safe and I have no scratch on myself. So the 3 people who lied was being thrown in the deep lion's den. The end.
Okay.
But I said one story.
Okay, say goodbye. And dance. Stand up. Dance.
Done.
Done.
Bye.
Okay, sa ate. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Say goodbye.
Bye.